Hey there, my handsome and pretty little Cobras, and welcome back to the Cobras Nest. For those of you who are new, my name is Mignon Cobra and I make minimalism videos. Today's minimalism video is going to be showing you guys what's in my current pans or things that I've hit pan on. I'll probably come up with a better title. But yeah, essentially I'm going to be showing you guys the things that I have hit pan on in my ultra minimal makeup collection. So without further ado, let's get into looking at the pans. Let's get it, let's go. Woo. Before we get started, as usual, if you wish to help out my channel, you can consider checking out my Patreon in the link down below. I make monthly vlogs, and if that's of no interest to you, then you can help support my channel by giving this video a thumbs up, a like, and a subscribe for the algorithm. Okay, so let's get into the first pans. Okay, so we're gonna start off with eyeshadow since I think that's really all. Okay, so these are all of my eyeshadows. I just own 3, 1 singlet and then 2 palettes. So let's get talking about the singlets first and then we'll get into the pans. Okay, so what we have here is Laura Mercier Translucent Medium Deep. I don't know what color this is exactly, but yeah, this was a gift from my mom and I've been using it for about, I'd say half a year, maybe more than half a year, maybe like 6-7 months. And I'll show you guys how much of a pan I have on that. Okay, there we go. And this shade is like my classic staple shade. I use this for my eyeshadows and I also use this for contouring. So I do get a lot of wear out of this shade, which is probably a bit more like untypical for eyeshadows. Eyeshadows are notorious for being very difficult to pan. So you usually have to go ham at one singlet, or it has to be like a staple color that you use a lot, whether it be like a pink that can be like your eyeshadow and your blush, or I guess in this case like a contour and an eyeshadow. So yeah, this gets a lot of wear because I use it for contouring here, contouring my nose, contouring underneath here, and contouring my eyes. Otherwise, I don't think that this would get as much love. So I pan to pan this before I let it go. Really good shade. It's kind of on the orangey side, but as a Latino, I feel like even though I am fair complexion, I have a little bit more wiggle room to be able to get away with more like olive warm tone. So I recommend this if you have more of a Mediterranean complexion. Okay, the next thing that we have, this is my Dior palette. And I'm gonna be showing you guys something kind of interesting about my Dior palette. Or if you guys are wondering which one this is Le Cinq Couleurs. My French is coming out. I'm so sorry, guys. Yeah, well, it's Les Cinq Couleurs in Rouge Trafalgar, and it was a gift from Will's cousin. We were leaving Taiwan at the time, so she gave me one of these because I'll be real with you guys. I didn't pay for this, and I would never pay for this. I went to the shop the other day to take a look because I was thinking of copying a new one, and I was like, 80 bucks. Almost 90 bucks after tax with like Canadian tax. I was like, I'm sorry, that ain't happening. I got better things to do with my money. So I'm not hating on it. I do think they're really nice and they're very creamy. One thing to be aware of is on the box, it said that it has an expiration date of 6 months. It's already been past 6 months, guys. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm notorious for like not following these guidelines. So they're super creamy though. I do think they're really nice. Like if you were thinking of picking this up, the pans are really deep. And the reason that I know that, so I'll open it up and I'm gonna be showing you guys. I've repressed both of these shades multiple times. The depth inside the pan is really deep. So I would say that it kind of is worth your money. They are really deep and they are really creamy. So if you're kind of going for a less is more type of vibe, these are really deep. They're definitely worth your money. I mean, I wouldn't pay for that much, but if you feel like it's worth it, then yes, this is a good palette to cop. Anyway, okay, let me show you guys the pans that I have and the dents that I have. Okay, I still have like the plastic sealant on it because I don't like the powder fly off getting on the mirror, because I actually do use the mirror for doing my own makeup. If you're wondering why does this palette look so weird, if this is the Rouge Trafalgar, the reason for it is I actually depanned the red that was inside with the pressed Dior. It was like a deep red, and if you guys have seen in my other videos, I'm not a red person. Like I like a red lip, but like red on my eyes, I don't know, it's too Weibo girl for me and I'm kind of over that phase. So I'm not gonna hate pan a shade. I'm so over that. So I actually took it and I decluttered it, and in its place I put my highlighter in there. So I put my gold highlighter inside of here, and it used to be in its own singlet. It was a Solange collection and I just stuck it in there. So I've actually recycled and up-purposed my palette to carry other shades, because sometimes when I'm traveling I just want something that's really light and really easy to go, and it has all of my things inside. So I'm turning this video into a tutorial of like minimalism makeup. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me stick to the pans. So yeah, I've hit a massive pan in my highlighter, which is like the color Sun, and I've also repressed my like glittery shade that I use for up here and in my aegyosal. So that I've repressed a lot. I've also hit a massive dent in this like deep Sakura pink. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like the NARS Deep Throat. It's like a very thick, vibrant pink. Like if your skin tone is pale, and I unfortunately discovered this the hard way, it's not a very flattering shade. I think the consistency is very beautiful. That's why I have a massive dent. So I did use it a lot because I liked the texture, but I didn't like the pigment pigmentation, it was just way too deep for me. It was too, I looked like a clown. It was too much. So I have not shown it that much love since. I've like hardly touched this purple one here. This purple one is very, and I've mentioned this in other videos, purple is a very unflattering color on me. It could also be just I don't really like purple, so I've hardly used it, and I probably will declutter it and input some other shade in there. So and this one is really good for like doing my eyebrows. I use it for my eyebrows and sometimes for coloring in like my tail, so that's what I use that for. So yeah, these are two shades that pretty good pans on, and I hope to finish them by the end of this year. Well, there's only a couple months left. What I mean is like the end of next year. So I will continue to use these because these are my staple colors. If you're wondering, like a little tip and trick for like minimal makeup, when you finish a pan, you can keep using the tray. Just take it out, use like, what is that, like disinfectant, and you can like mash up the product and you can stick in another color that you like in there. So you can kind of DIY something in a packaging that you like. I really like the packaging for this. It's very minimal and it's very sturdy. So I just, when I finish shades, I end up putting it inside of here. When these finish, I'm gonna keep the box and I'm gonna put in other colors inside because it's very good for traveling. Like I do my makeup just using this particular mirror. And the last thing that I have, this is my 1028. She is my tried and true. I don't know if you guys can see how many scratches this thing has. This thing is so old, probably 5 years old. Palette, the colors inside. So I'm gonna be showing you guys. So let me open it up. So there we go. I know, super minimalistic. I had a full tray when I first started about like 2 years ago, and I've been slowly panning and decluttering shades as I've gone. So this is currently what I have left. So this is a repressed blush, or I guess like pinky shade. This is kind of like the pink milk tea color from Essence. And I have a really big pad because I use it for a lot of things. I use it as an eyeshadow and I also use it as a blush. So I get a lot of use out of that. It's a very flattering shade. I love it. It no longer smells like milk tea anymore. It used to smell very like sweet and caramelly. It doesn't anymore. So I should probably be considering letting this go. And then here I have two pretty like substantial pans. So let's first talk about this orange. This orange, I went through like a coral phase, I think like all throughout 2020. So this was like literally my daily staple. I wore this like nonstop every single day when I did my makeup. I would use this orange color. So that's why I have such a generous dent in it. The other shade that I have is this brown one. This brown one is actually an accumulation of many years. This is an accumulation of 4 years of using this as like my brow shade. So that's why I have a substantial. You can even see the shape how it's got kind of like a nick. That's from like the angulation of the brush always like rubbing on it. You can kind of, if you guys have panned, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You can recognize certain pans. Like this is a brow and this is an eyeshadow. I have this golden orange that I said I was going to declutter. I decluttered the other darker brown shade, but I ended up keeping the gold because I was like, I want to give it a little bit more of a try. I'm currently wearing it and it actually looks okay, and I don't have any shimmers anymore. This is literally my last shimmer. I have a lot of mattes. I don't like shimmers, but I thought I'd give this one a try. I'll give it a couple more months, and if really I'm still not liking it, I'm letting it go. And the last thing that I have is kind of like, this is called Soft Rose, and I did mention I didn't like the Dior. The Dior was super pigmented, hyper pigmented, and that red shade was like almost looked like I was bleeding. But this is more of, it blends out to kind of like a deep pink rose, so I do like it. I have a slight dent on it. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. There was a period of time I was really into wearing this when I used to do like my TikTok videos. It was super on trend, you know, like that the jelly look filter. I tried to replicate it using this shade, so I was really into the shade for a period of time, and that's the only reason I have a dent on it. Otherwise I hardly ever touched it because you guys know I'm not too crazy about red. Okay, so there we have it. Those are all of the pans that I have in my eyeshadows. I hope that this inspired anybody. I want to be transparent about how long it took me to make these dents. You guys know that eyeshadows take forever to make dents on, so this has been an accumulation of over 4 years. I hope that this can give somebody some knowledge to discourage you from buying way too many eyeshadows, because like they take forever and you really only have 2 eyes, and like the amount that you use on your eyes very little. At least for myself, it kind of gave me knowledge and experience to not keep buying so many eyeshadows, because like, girl, come on, you can't finish them that quickly. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thanks for watching. Bye. Sometimes I've 2 pans, the pans that I have to show you guys, because I mean I can't really magic pans out of air that I don't have. Let me start that again.